was weird. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our September Solano County Democratic Central Committee meeting. We are excited. This is a new, fresh day here, a sigh of relief in California. Just really wanted to say thank you all for all of your efforts in the recall. We kept Gavin, but guess what? We got to gear up to do this in the next 6 months. So hats off to each and every one of you guys for all of your efforts to ensure that Newsom stays in office, and let this be a sign and a warning that we need to gear up again in the next 6 months. So again, congratulations to Governor Newsom. And again, thank you to all of our clubs and Central Committee members and Democrats of Solano County for making sure that that happened and that he is remaining in office. And I would just like to welcome and acknowledge any guests that have here on this evening. If you are a guest joining us, if you would just raise your hand in the chat, we'd like for you to introduce yourself. Ms. McDougall, go ahead.
I don't consider myself a guest because I've been a member of the Democratic Party before I was born. And it's just been a hard time. I've been trying for 2 years to get on Zoom, but thank God for Sankofa. Thank you. So my name is Gian McDougall. I'm a psychotherapist, and I do work with Empower Solano, and we're trying to empower people to get the vaccination, but also to provide vaccination education as well, and also work with homeless and also any progressive causes. So thank you so very, very much for ensuring that I was part of this wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you.
Welcome. You're very welcome and welcome. And I saw that we had Jack Flynn. You know, you're really not a guest, but welcome anyway. Thanks for joining us. Are there any other guests? You can identify yourself. Random chat. Okay. So let's go to next item on the agenda, our land acknowledgement. Lynette, do you have that up and ready?
Yes, I'm ready. We pause to acknowledge that Solano County Central Committee. Are you ready? Am I on mute?
You're not
good. Go ahead.
I'm not on mute, but you should be able to hear me. We pause to acknowledge that Solano County Central Committee of the Democratic Party sits on the land of the Miwok and Powin people. We remember their continued connection to this region, give thanks to them for allowing us to live, work, learn, and pray in their traditional homeland. We offer our respect to their elders and to the Miwok and Powin people of the past and present.
Thank you so much for that. We will now do the Pledge of Allegiance. So if we can all repeat after me. If you are willing and able to stand up, you may do so. All right. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to
the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God, indivisible,
with
liberty and justice for all. Thank you for that, everyone. And it looks like we have a quorum. Madam President and Madam Secretary are absent and excused from our meeting, but it looks like we have a majority of our Central Committee voting members present to be able to go through with the meeting.
I looked it up. We need a third. We're good.
A third? Okay, we're at 19.
We're good.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Hey, Corey. All right.
Tom, this is your, just remind everyone if they're a voting member to put a V by their name, because we can also do a hand count that way too if we need to. So just, add that to your name.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect. Thank you. All right, Tom, do we have a poll for attendance?
I had launched it. Let me relaunch it.
And then, Gian, did you have another question? Your hand sweetie?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't take it down. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Let's see if we
Okay,
get-
I have relaunched the sign in.
Okay, everybody go ahead and vote. And if you're a member of the public, please identify yourself on the poll.
It looks like we have one person who would like to say something. Once I close the poll, I can look at it.
I don't see a hand up,
I
Tom.
don't see any hands up
No,
either.
no, I'm talking about they want to say something in public comment.
Okay, well, we're coming up to that. We still got to move through the agenda.
No, no, I was just saying there's a question on the sign in that says I would like to say something.
Okay, well, thank you. Has everybody got an opportunity to vote? Looks like
I don't see a poll.
Steve, check behind one of your screens. I don't know what kind of device you're on. Sometimes it hides itself behind the screen.
I'm on an iPhone, but I don't see anything.
Click on the more button and look at, and you'll see a thing that says polls. Do you see it?
Oh, thanks, Leilani. She said it may be a green. What did you say? It may be a green.
Green text. Yeah.
Yeah. It says poll
But-
in progress.
Yeah. I know it shows up if you have not voted. There.
All right. And those, I just saw some other Central Committee members that came in. Please change your name and put V in front of your name so that we know that you're a voting member.
Steve Quinlan's hand is raised.
Okay, go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
Oh, that was me trying to open a poll, but it's not working.
Okay. Well, we know you're here, so you can just indicate that in the chat. Okay.
Oh, I stopped the poll.
All right.
Okay, one of the co-hosts keeps ending the poll. So do not do that. Whoever is Vernil or Paula, or because the poll ended before people had a chance to sign in.
That may have been me.
Okay. Should I relaunch it so we can get everyone, since we've
No,
got
I
some new
think
people?
we're good, and I'll take a screenshot of the participants.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and launch it again.
Okay.
Again?
Yeah. Do it again. We're gonna do it right. Okay. About 30 more seconds. Oh, you okay. Good, Steve. You got it, Leilani. Hey, John.
Yeah, I got 16.
About one. How we looking, Tom? Everybody done it?
We have 22 participants, but only 16 people have signed in.
Okay.
So guys, just hit that. If not, we can end it. I mean, it's recorded.
Okay. And we do have their names recorded. I'll go ahead and take a screenshot of the chat just in case. All right. All right, moving forward, item 2, we do need to go ahead and the agenda and minutes. I do need to make a modification for the September 22nd agenda. Under new business, we are going to, Dr. Bonnie Hamilton asked for her report to be tabled until October. And then we wanted to replace that with an action item. We do need to vote on the date for our December meeting. So I would like to make that change. Is there any other changes that need to be made to the September 22nd agenda, please indicate by raising your hand.
This is Lynette. I move the agenda with the additions and deletions.
Okay,
A second, this is Paula.
okay.
Who
Discussion?
is taking notes?
The meeting's being recorded, so Jeanette will be able to replay it back when we finish it. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. Thank you. Everybody go ahead and vote. This poll is up. All right, has everybody voted?
We still have some votes coming in.
Okay.
Well, at least we did. All right, yeah, one more.
Okay, has everybody voted?
We've got 18 of 23, so I'm going to assume that's enough to pass it at least.
Okay.
Yay, it's an agenda.
All right. Unanimous. Thank you. All right, next on the agenda, approval of the August 28th, 2021 minutes. Any modifications need to be made to that? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I move that we approve the August 28 minutes.
This is Lynette. I second.
All those in discussion? All right. All those in favor, vote please. Has everybody voted?
We only have 17. As I count it, there should be at least 20. That's enough to pass it, but
Yeah, I have 21 voting members here right now. So we're,
18's enough. Oh, now it's at 18.
Okay.
So, shall I end it?
Yes, please.
And it passes with 18.
Okay, thank you. All right, next we have public comment. Please remember to all of our guests and any Central Committee members that wish to report out that we're going to give you a 2-minute minimum to make the your public comment, and this period of time cannot exceed 30 minutes. I will go ahead and open public comment at 7:15. Please indicate if you would like to speak by raising your hand in the chat, and the vice chair or Paula Bow will be recognized.
Jean McDougall has her hand raised.
Go ahead. And hold on, your time's going to start. Lynette, can you?
Yeah, I'm
keep track
talking
of-
as soon as she starts talking.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening, Gianni McDougall. I just want to just briefly say that, it's one thing for us to elect public officials, but it's another thing to give support. And the point that I'm specifically talking about right now is at this Solano County Supervisors meeting when there was a discussion about and the vote was raised in terms of whether or not to support the mask mandate for any enclosed building, I guess county building, and also in terms of mandating vaccinations for county employees. Well, all of the anti-vaxxers and all the anti-maskers came out in force, but basically Monica and Aaron were kind of left with no one. I think Bonnie Hamilton and I were the only ones who really came out in public and also via Zoom to support it. We've got to do better because and I understand that the meeting is really kind of held at a really weird time because I was actually on that call for 4 hours because they didn't get to that part of the agenda until later on in the afternoon, and it started at 9 o'clock. We've got to support. We not only support people by voting and getting them into office, but supporting them with our voices and with our bodies and so forth. That's all I have to say. Thank you so very, very much for all of your work.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak during public comment? Please indicate by raising your hand.
I don't see any hands raised at this time.
Oh,
Okay. Anything in the chat? I don't see anything in the chat
No,
either.
no.
Okay. I will go ahead and close public comment. Public comment is closed at 7:17 p.m. Moving on, we have announcements. Please indicate by raising your hand and get 2 minutes as well.
I don't see any hands.
No, I don't either.
All right, even better. Okay, moving along to reports. All the reports were pretty much sent out by Jeanette from all of the all executive board officers. You guys got president's report. Northern Vice Chair, do you have a report?
Mine will be in fundraiser. I'll save it for a committee report.
Treasurer, would you like to make a verbal report? I didn't see him here. Okay. Secretary's not here. Tom, Information Officer, Resource Officer, do you have a report?
Not at this time.
Parliamentarian Lynette.
Yes, good evening. It was brought to my attention that the bylaw changes that we made last year and this year have not been updated in the bylaws. I thought it had been handled by the secretary, and so that's what had happened in the past. So within the week, I should have the updated bylaws to be able to be posted on the website. So I thought, in my mind, it was already done after we voted on and they're in place. So the updated bylaws I thought had been placed on the website. So that's my only update.
Okay, thank you. Any ex officios here want to give a report? We have Thompson or Garamendi's reps. Please indicate by raising your hand.
No report from Garamendi.
Okay, thank you. I don't see Miguel, so I'm gonna go ahead and assume Thompson's anything. Dodd, don't see Deborah. Grayson, Aguilar, Curry, Frazier, any one of those reps here? Okay.
I'll do Grayson if nobody. I thought Norm was going to be here, but he had surgery, so we'll see. Just quick update. He had 12 bills pass, or excuse me, they got to do 12 bills. He's had 9 go to the governor's desk. 3 have been signed so far, so it's been a good year so far. Most of it reporting on housing. He's got a housing tour starting here shortly, and he's got one of the tiny homes that he put on the state capitol floor, or not the floor, but the steps of the state capitol.
I think she froze.
Yep.
Yep, I think she froze.
Jana, you froze. All right.
No, so,
We'll catch.
no.
Yeah, but we'll catch you on the flip side. All right. Sorry about that, you guys. Elected officials, our local elected officials. Do we have anybody that would like to speak? Any of our local elected officials here at the Central Committee? Please indicate by raising your hand, and you'll be called on.
John Fox raised his hand.
Right. And
Hi,
I
John.
saw
Go
Monica.
ahead. You are recognized, sir.
Good evening, everybody. For the Vallejo Unified School District, the board is working on setting up a strategic plan. And the strategic plan will be used, we will be including the community and stakeholders. So it's going to happen over a few months. So that's one thing that we're working on right now. Another thing, as Tiffany knows, it's just been so difficult. We still cannot find substitutes. Lynette, we did raise the pay. So Lynette Henley, I'm looking for you.
Thank you.
I listened and I questioned, and so Lynette, I'm here for you.
Good.
Anyways, so it's just so horrible. A lot of principals, teachers, support staff are taking students daily because we just cannot find substitute teachers. Also, just with the teacher shortage, it's also so difficult with all the classes that parents want, the online classes. We weren't prepared for the overwhelmingly amount of parents that want that. So those are all getting staffed at this point, but it was a huge surprise how many parents wanted to stay online. Let's see, other announcements. I think that's it for right now for my report. Thank you.
Dr. Moss?
Yes, good evening. So I just wanted to share very, very briefly. Of course, I'm on the school board in Benicia. The recall effort failed. There was a recall for 2 of our board members, but I believe they got like maybe 180 votes or so. And they needed, I think, about 4,000. The other thing that's been happening at our school boards is that we've had a group of folks who show up at every board meeting who are very anti anything that's equity related. So they're attacking what are, unfound facts really, because there's there's this idea that critical race theory is happening and it's not. And so anything that's related to anything equitable, anything that involves hearing the voices of all people is being pushed against. And so they've basically just, I guess, vowed to be at every board meeting to make sure that we, readdress it or not even consider it at all. I know the district has engaged Epic Education and a couple of other consultants to do this work around equity. So there are some parent forums that are going to be planned in the near future so that at least folks can come out and really have some real conversations about what is happening and what isn't happening in the district. So that's it.
Steve Quinlan?
Tiffany, can I respond real quick to Dr. Moss?
Go ahead.
I forgot in my report, since Dr. Moss and I are both on the county school board, and I'm the president of that association, we are having a second series of equity. And I'm glad Dr. Moss said that. I forgot to announce that. So we're having Nicole Anderson and Deborah Keys. We're going to be meeting on October 4th, November 8th, and January 24th. It's our second series of equity for all the Solano County School Board members to attend. So I'm excited about that. And as Dr. Moss said, it's sad that in Vacaville and Benicia, they're having these discussions of critical race theory. And also in Vacaville, they're also having anti-maskers show up in Vacaville, and they're going to keep bombarding their meetings, and it's horrible what Vacaville is going through with the anti-maskers. And they had to shut down their meeting last time and restart the meeting after they got rid of the people that took over their meeting about not wearing masks in public. Thank you, Tiffany. I'm sorry. I forgot to add that important, crucial part. Thank you, Dr. Moss.
Steve Quinlan?
Yeah, John, what did you guys raise the subpay to?
Well, you're not a sub, so I think we're in the low 200 range, I think between 2 and 250. Are you letting Lynette know? I don't
No,
remember
just
offhand. I'd have to look it up. It was just approved.
because Elite's 250 and Fairfield's 250. So that's why I was curious.
I think
Thanks.
we're very comparable now.
Pat Tooth Smith?
Yes, Toast Smith.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. My dentist always laughed. He thought I should be a dentist, but no. But I wanted to comment on the Board of Supervisors meeting because I did sit through the 4 hours also.
Pat,
Uh-huh.
there's a place for that. This is for elected officials.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
She's Monica's rep. She is the rep of an elected official.
Okay, so is she making the report on Monica's behalf or not?
Monica just asked me in the chat to report on it.
Okay, I see the chat, so go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't see the chat.
All right, so yeah, I sat through the 4 minutes, I mean the 4 hours or whatever, and so did the other COVID committee members, and I was pretty much very surprised. The 2 measures that did pass, the one measure that the county employees have to follow Vallejo and Benicia's mass ordinance did pass. The one that I should say only one passed. The other one that didn't pass was the vaccine mandate that Aaron Hannigan put forward for the county employees. But the one that I was most disturbed about that I spoke on was the indoor mask ordinance. Solano County has been in the high level of transmissibility easily for 3 or 4 months now. And the CDC recommends that everybody wears masks indoors, vaccinated and unvaccinated. So we are not following that here in Solano County. And people spoke on it, but a lot more spoke about no masks. And it wasn't even taken up because Monica was the only person who actually came out and said she wanted to have an indoor mask ordinance, and so they didn't take it up. So that's kind of how it went ultimately. And I don't know if you want to add anything more, Monica. Okay, that's it.
All right, thanks, Pat. Sorry about that earlier. Anybody else? Any other elected officials? I don't see any hands. Do you, Paula or Vernil?
I don't see any hands.
Okay. All right. Club reports. Are there any clubs here that want to make a verbal report? We've gotten pretty much everybody sent out via email. Please indicate with your hand raised in the chat if you would like to make a verbal report. All right. Good job. I didn't see all those hands fly up at once, so hopefully somebody's paying attention. I saw Dr. Moss's go up first and then after.
Okay. Well, Dr. Moss then.
Okay. All right. So I'm Dr. Moss, president of Sankofa. I do want to share that we were able to, on September the 12th, we were able to co-host an event for the recall with Congresswoman Barbara Lee, and also political strategist Donna Brazile, and then some other officials. And then we also just, we've had our general meeting and our executive board meeting. So we're just in the process of really mapping things out and planning some great things ahead and making sure that we're, looking at ways to be proactive so that we can just be ready at all times. So that's it. Thank you.
I didn't notice the order. So Carrie Birdseye.
Thank you very much. Hi, I'm representing the Progressive Democrats of Benicia. And we had a working meeting. It was just a couple nights before the election. So we got out the vote, made calls, and emailed folks. And so we did a last minute push there. I also want to share that our club passed a resolution to promote the oversight board for the sheriff's department at the board of supervisors level. And I tried to share the resolution with our leadership here at the Central Committee. Unfortunately, I got the wrong email addresses. So I'm hoping that Tom can forward that resolution and share it with everybody. I understand that there's a rule now that we want folks to take individual actions, and I still think it's very important for the clubs to make their voices heard through resolutions and shared agreements and letters to our decision makers. And I think it's important that the central committee do the same. We can't be loud enough on this issue. So I look forward, and the Progressive Dems of Benicia look forward to figuring out how we can get resolutions passed on the central committee level. And in the meantime, I encourage everybody, all the clubs, to take the resolution that was just shared in the chat, make it your own, and send it to the Board of Supervisors. Thank you.
Down, Lori.
Yeah, while the club submitted a written report, I do want to emphasize that we had a very robust discussion about asking our legislature to reform the recall process, because not only the governor's recall, but these rather ridiculous efforts at the local level, which are entirely about people throwing a temper tantrum because they didn't get their way in the last election. So we will probably be coming back either next month or at our meeting in January with some language to put forward to our legislators and encouraging them to take up legislation in the new year.
Thank you. Pat Tooth Smith.
It's Toth Smith. I sound like your daughter now.
Toth. Okay.
Toth.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the COVID subcommittee, but I don't know if I'm in the right spot again for doing my report. Okay, I will take my hand down and wait.
We're getting there, Pat. We're getting there.
All right.
Tom.
Yeah, we did not submit a report because, well, one, work is crazy and busy. But I did want to just give a shout out to United Dems and Paula Bauer, because we worked together to work the farmers market for the Say No to Recall. And with that, we gave out 1,000 buttons and a bunch of yard signs and everything at the farmers market. And also we had on hand a list of QR codes for all the clubs and the central committee, so people could scan them and get information. So I think it might be good, and Stonewall's going to be doing this. We can partner with United Dems or anyone else who wants to work the farmers market once a month just to promote the Democratic Party. If anyone else is working a farmers market, I can send you a document you can print that has the QR codes for all the clubs and the central committee, so that people who want more information or know how to get involved at the local level, they can scan that and it takes them right to the page or to the Facebook page for that club. Okay, and that's it.
Thank you. Lynette.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I'm starting my timer too. Carrie, we have a resolutions committee now, and I do believe that Brigitte is chairing that. So we do have a new mechanism. I think we voted on it last meeting to have a resolutions committee and I think a legislative committee, but I know resolutions for sure, so that resolutions can come from the central committee, which gives you, not only are the clubs doing it, but the central committee is supporting that. So I'm not sure when they're meeting or if they've met yet. I know that Philip was going to work on it. So let's try to get that together so that we can support the resolution that you put forward. That's it.
Okay.
Right.
I don't see any more hands.
Okay. Any reports for the state party? Paula Bauer, Monica Brown, you're our e-board reps to the party.
So the e-board met over a long weekend. It was once again on Zoom. A big item that came up, particularly for the Progressive and the Environmental Caucus, is that they don't believe that the CDP officials are following their own bylaws in setting the agenda and allowing items to be added to the agenda. And so Amr Shagal, who is the Progressive Caucus chair, is going to be pretty active on that one. But most of the e-board was all about reelecting or killing the recall. You say that's about a fair comment, Monica? Did we lose Monica?
Don't see her. Lynette, you're recognized, sorry.
I thought Monica was still on, maybe not. Anyway, yes, and the two things, the November e-board will be the weekend before Thanksgiving. That's a for sure. We will be on Zoom again. The March meeting will be they're working on a hybrid for the March meeting, and it should be early March for the endorsement pre-endorsement meeting. And then the Region 2 meeting will happen sometime mid-October. Has to be 30 days before the actual e-board. So they haven't given me the link yet to be able to set up the meeting, but I hope to have it usually like regular Sunday, 2 to 4. It will be via Zoom. I'm not doing in person yet. That's it.
All right, thank you so much. Moving on to committee reports. First up, we have our bylaws committee. Lynette, I think you did a mini report on it, but if you have to expound on anything, you can do so now.
Thank you, Tiffany. We, like I said, I will get the revised, and I'm working with Jeanette on that to make sure that we get it put in correctly. And then we'll be able to send a PDF to Tom to post. And then we still haven't met to finish up the endorsement stuff. And I know we probably need to get on that because endorsements are coming up pretty quickly for the next round of elections. So I will try to pull something together between now and next meeting. And I think that's it on bylaws.
Okay, thank you. Club coordination, Jeannie or Mona?
Good evening, everyone. I will be doing the report for the Club Coordination Committee meeting that we had this past Monday evening. We only had 3 people at the meeting, and it was decided that we would come back and meet in 2 weeks on Tuesday, October 5th. Paula, I know you had communicated with me that that is not a good meeting. Let's talk about that because we want your input for sure. We have finished our revisions in the handbook. We want to make sure that we get approval from the rest of the committee members, and that's why we have deferred it for 2 weeks. After we have received approval from our committee members, we will be sending it on to the bylaws committee for their consideration. Thank you.
Thank you guys for your hard work on that. I'm excited about what this is actually going to look like, and we finally have a book to go by. So I'm excited. Thank you so much. Code of Conduct Committee, Leilani.
Hi, everyone. So we did not meet in September. There's a great focus on the recall, and the time and date that we usually met clashed with that. So we are at 1 year, and so I would like to make a motion to extend the Code of Conduct Committee by 6 months. We have the first rough draft done, but I would like to use 6 months or less to continue working revisions and present it to the committee.
You cut out on my end. I didn't catch the last part.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So I'd like to, so I move to extend, or I'd like to ask for a motion to extend the Code of Conduct Committee by 6 months. We We have the rough draft done. I would like to have a period for input and feedback and more revisions before we submit it to the Central Committee for approval.
This is your parliamentarian. She's moving that on behalf of that committee, so it doesn't need a second. So it is on the floor for discussion.
Okay, any discussion? Please indicate by raising your hand.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. Okay, I don't see any hands or objections. So should we create a poll for this one? A vote? Yeah.
Give me
And when
just a moment.
Okay, you want to extend it by 6 months, Leilani?
Yes, 6 months maximum.
Let's go for 8.
Sure, why not? Thank you.
8. Let's go for 8. We got a couple holidays between those months, so I just want to give you a little bit of flexibility.
Okay, can we make that an amendment then? We'll ask for 8.
Okay.
You're amending yourself, so that's fine.
Yep. All right. We'll wait for Tom to get the poll together. It's a great idea.
I'm sorry, I have just drawn a blank. Which committee is this?
Code of conduct.
Code of conduct.
Code of conduct.
Thank you.
Sorry. Conduct. And I think with the 8 months, honestly, that would give us enough time to get through like endorsements and all of that kind of stuff too. So I think it's a good gap.
Thank you for the suggestion.
Go ahead.
Folks, please vote.
Tom, I think part of the problem with me is that I can't vote being the host.
That is correct. So
Right.
put
So
a yay or nay in the chat.
Yeah. Those of you that can't vote, yeah, just put a yay or nay in the chat or abstain. That way we can record your vote as well. How we looking, Tom?
We got 16, and that's 17, and so that's 21. And that should be about right.
There's 3 in the chat too.
I got 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you too. All right.
Yeah. Okay, there. Now we're at 23. So that's our 22, and that accounts for the extra people, the visitors. Okay. Gonna go ahead and end it.
Yes, sir.
All right. So with this, the poll plus the yay votes, it passes.
All right. Thank you. Good job, Leilani. Look forward to.
Thank you,
more from that.
everyone.
All right. Next, we have fundraiser.
Yes.
Neil.
Yes. Good evening again, everyone. On behalf of the executive board, I'd like to present a fundraising activity. It's a virtual activity. It's a popcorn fundraising. It's a 4-day virtual fundraiser where we would earn 50% of profits selling the most delicious gourmet popcorn. And you never have to worry about handling the products or collecting money because it's 100% virtual. It's all online. There are no apps to download, no login requirements, and it ships directly to the supporters. I would have Tom, if he doesn't mind, to explain the pop-up store, because you will get a unique link, and Tom has volunteered to offer training. It's very simple, but Tom has offered to have training. Our tentative date is October 22nd through November 1st, because you only have 4 days to have this. If we get 50 participants, on average, we could make between $8,000 to $10,000. They have all flavors popcorn. The popcorn does not get cooked until they receive the order, and it comes fresh to your supporters' doorstep.
Right. So good evening, members. So what it would be is you would get a link and you would get the ability to create your own pop-up store. I will show you mine just for a laugh and for what I set up as an example. So here, Santa, who is an avid Democrat, is my screen showing?
No,
Oh,
very good. Now it is.
oh okay.
Now we see you,
All right.
Santa.
So Santa, who is an avid Democrat, is going to sell popcorn to help the Democratic Party. He's committed to raising $800. And whenever it's ready, I can send this link to all my friends and family and all the people on the nice list and the naughty list, because they both got money, and get them to buy popcorn to support Democratic causes in Solano County. So basically you get a link, you can upload your photo, or you can use an icon or whatever you want. And you can also put in text for your plea. And I will walk through this with people over the course of 2 or 3 meetings. I'll set them up, and then you can just join on Zoom and we'll walk through it and help you set it up. But at that point, you share the link, and then people come in and choose the carbohydrates they want. There's all sorts of flavors, like Vernell said, and it's done through email. You get an app on your phone so you can track it, and you can make donations through it as well, and donate popcorn. And there's all sorts of varieties. So it's a fairly easy thing to do. All you have to do is step back and get people to gain calories through carbohydrates.
Thanks, Tom. And they can also be competitive, say if the clubs want to compete with each other, because there'll be a leaderboard. So you'll see who's winning or who's leading in sales as well. And that'll be public for everyone.
Yeah, and so it's individuals. So like the club reps could be that, but we also can have all of the committee members and have a fun time with it. And maybe we even come up with like a prize. So, but I think it's a great idea. Thank you, Vernell, for bringing this.
I would like to put it up for a vote if we would like to move forward with this fundraiser. It's fast and it's easy to make money.
I second that.
All right, any discussion? Any more questions? It's real easy money.
In the chat.
Okay.
Yeah,
Halloween is a good time.
Oh, okay.
It was just a comment.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
so Madam Chair.
So do we want to make part of the motion, Vernell, the date? Because
Yeah,
what I did was I chose
yes.
dates at random just to set up for this example.
But I think October 28th will give you enough time to train those that need training without being rushed. And then we can go into the holiday season. They will receive their packages before Christmas.
Yeah. So you get your
Thanksgiving. I went too far out before
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So they should get it around Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving, just in the middle of the holidays.
Yeah. And Paula, your concern, they said they fixed the shipping. So the shipping is they got more machines. This company increased 5-fold when they started this online popcorn sale. So they had to grow with it, and they ran into some growing pains because it got so popular. But now I got an email that all that's fixed and everything's timely. And they have a new factory which they're working out of, the popcorn fresh.
Good.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion about this? This is an action item for the Central Committee. We had go ahead, Don. Sorry, I didn't see your hand at first.
Yeah, are we all required? I mean, I have traumatic memories of trying to sell popcorn in elementary school. I'm really not eager to sell popcorn again.
Okay, now Don, let me say this. We would like for all of our Central Committee members to participate in this, because remember, we're out 6 months. We got a big year ahead of us. Now, I will say this, me and Tom are going to sell the most. So your goal does not have to, be like ours to do $3,000 worth of popcorn. But if you're able to at least do $100, $50, whatever you feel led to do, but we do want full participation from the Central. This is a part of being on the Central Committee. We gotta dig in. So yes, we want everybody to participate. But Don, we'll make an exception because we don't want to trigger your anxiety and have you laying on the couch, being traumatized by this experience.
Yeah, I'll charge you in chocolate.
So here's the thing,
Chocolate
Don.
flavor.
The best way to allay your anxiety is to order a couple of bags of popcorn for yourself, or a case or two.
Okay. Okay, Don. So you have some suggestions on how to curb your anxiety. So I hope that popcorn therapy, as Susan just indicated, I love it. So we'll help you with that. Is there any other discussion on this? We do need to move this forward as an action item. It was Jana, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Let's hope it works this time. Real quickly, I love the idea of the popcorn thing. It's great. I'm sorry about any anxiety. But just a quick heads up, somebody can check into Amazon Smile, where we can all just hook up to our Amazon account and nobody has to do anything. You just shop. So somebody might look into that as a fundraising committee.
Oh, thank you. I forgot about the Smile option. Okay, we'll definitely look into that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tom, go ahead. You're muted, hon.
Yeah, just one thing. The Amazon Smile is only for 501c3s because we do it for Solano Pride. So I don't think it can work for a political committee.
Okay. Well, thanks for that clarification. All right, let's move ahead. We do have an action item on the floor. Is there any more discussion or questions around our holiday popcorn / popcorn therapy? Okay, I don't see any questions or comments. So
move for the
everybody, polls been launched. Can you please go ahead and vote? And again, if you're unable to vote via poll, indicate in the chat. Thank you. Are we almost finished?
We've had 19 people vote.
And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in the chat. 1, 2, 3, including yourself, Tom, right?
I voted on Stonewall. I don't
Okay.
vote on my
Okay.
executive committee. I've already voted.
All right, can we go ahead and end the polling?
Yeah. So it passes.
Thank
So
you.
Don,
Thank you.
get ready to order some popcorn.
We will be sending out communications regarding the training shortly. Thank you so much, guys. All right, next committee. I don't see Bridget in the chat or here present, but is there anybody here from the audit committee that would like to give a report?
I can just repeat what I've said for the last couple of months. The final report was given to Richette. She's supposed to have submitted it quite a while ago at this point.
This is Lynette. Who gave her the report?
Well, let me rephrase. My final draft that she was supposed to do whatever she was supposed to do and then turn it in. So from the committee work, it's been sitting on her desk for quite a while now.
Okay, the reason I asked that is that we may just have to take your report as the final report and keep it moving. So just something to, maybe communicate with her if we don't hear from her by our next meeting, which is October. So confused now. It's October. That the note. I mean, we needed to be able to do our final report to the state. So there's some responsibility with the reason having that done. So we can put it on. I would say put it on the executive board, Tiffany. So that we see where we go. But thanks, Don, for the update.
Yes, thank you, Don. I'll go ahead and add it to the executive board agenda for consideration for Madam Chair. And is anybody here from the headquarters committee? Bridget was also responsible for reporting out on that one. Nobody? Okay, moving along. Let's see, meeting logistics ad hoc committee. Jonathan's not here, so maybe Tom can.
He has, because he bought a house where he is no longer in Solano County, so he resigned because he's not in here. But we did have a meeting, our last meeting in August, which we had come back to the committee already and stated that we needed to consider meeting in person after the first of the year because of Delta and now Mu and other things. But we have already been investigating places and venues that we can possibly meet that would allow us to social distance even after the first of the year, including the county event center and their bigger room, not the small room that we were going into prior. But so we're looking at that and working with different venue places to do that. More to come.
All right, thank you so much. Next we have the legislative ad hoc committee. Susan, are you here?
I am, thank you. We did not hold a meeting in September because we were focused on the recall. There will be a meeting in October. Notice will be going out by next week at the latest. The date of the meeting is October 14th. If there is anyone here that would like to be a part of that, please let me know in the message and I'll be sure in the chat, and I'll be sure to include you in the notice. There's lots of things that we have to determine what we want to address as a club, but there are a few things. Is that a lot of bills have gone to Governor Newsom's desk and he signed. So it would be really good that we know what what the governor has signed so that we're aware of the legislation that has passed and what is still pending, especially in light of the priorities that our club has indicated. And also, it's not until after this legislative cycle ends, it's not until January. So it's also, what are we going to do between now and January? So these are some of the things we'll be talking about as a club and more.
Thank you. And thank you so much for chairing and heading up that committee. I'm excited. Like, I think we're going to do some damage finally. This was being taken care of. So thanks for taking care of that. Resolutions committee. Anybody from that committee? Raise your hand.
I'll just speak on it real quickly because we decided to not meet till after the recall election was over. So that was the last I had heard from the committee.
Okay, thank you. Looking forward to having that committee active as well. So thanks for that, Pat. COVID committee is a representative. I think Nancy, you're here to speak.
No, I'm actually going to speak on the COVID subcommittee.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually did meet after the Board of Supervisors meeting, and we met because this was the second meeting where the mandatory indoor mask mandate was brought up by Monica and went nowhere. It wasn't voted on. What we're requesting of the Central Committee is that we submit a letter to Governor Newsom requesting that he does a mandatory indoor mask mandate for counties like ours that have a high transmissibility level, which goes along with what the CDC has recommended. It's become clearer and clearer that the board probably will not do this. Our high transmissibility has been, like I said, consistent over the past 3 months now. And it just seems like it's the recall election, the number one reason people voted to keep Governor Newsom in office was his action on COVID. So there is a real positive move to have him continue with what he's done in the past. And this would be going along with what the CDC recommends, that vaccinated and unvaccinated people wear masks indoors, whereas our health director, Dr. Mattis, has only recommended that people that are unvaccinated wear masks indoors. And so there's no requirement, so nobody knows who's vaccinated or unvaccinated. So it really is putting a lot of people at risk going indoors in areas that don't have the indoor mask mandate. So I guess I'm asking this committee is if we could send a letter to Governor Newsom asking him to do just that.
I second Pat's motion. I'm assuming that's a motion.
Yeah,
I'm seconding it.
So the motion before us is that the Solano County Central Committee send a letter to Governor Newsom requesting a mandate for Solano County for the indoor mask requirement.
Right.
And it's been said, that was made by Pat and seconded by Paula.
Okay.
So any discussion?
Yeah. Any
Tom
discussion?
Bilbo's hands up. Tom's hand is up.
Yeah, I
ahead,
wanted to just give some clarification for the poll. So was it for Solano County or for counties like Solano County? Because I heard that in your wording.
Yeah, I think any county that has a high transmissibility level should be following the CDC guidelines. I don't know if he would specifically do it just for Solano County. I think he's more apt to do it.
Pat, so the clarification is for Solano County and counties that are similar to us.
That have high transmissibility, CDC guidelines.
And so just as a logistical thing, who's going to write this letter? Is it going to come from the COVID committee to the executive board and then?
The COVID committee will write it.
Okay, and then it would be presented to the executive board for modifications, and then we'll get it back out to you guys. All right, so is there any more discussion on this? Tom, your hand is still up. Did you have another question?
Monica's hand is up.
Go ahead, Monica. Sorry.
I understand that it needs to be checked, but I put in the chat, Solano County would have been purple this entire summer. That's how bad it is. And so the question then becomes, if we then go to the executive board and it goes to here, now we're almost at the end of October. And I really think that maybe we can kind of make it a little bit faster than that to get this mask mandate going, because it is extremely time sensitive. So somehow when Margie gets back, or if she's given you the authority, Tiffany, you and the other vice chair, just get it sent. You could, send us the email letter, and if somebody objects to it, okay, we could make some sort of corrections, but this is important. Like a week and a half ago, we hardly had any ICU beds. So I'm just saying we need to move faster than what I just heard.
Well, in the interest, so just let everybody know, I'm just chairing in the absence of our chair, and so I don't feel comfortable making a decision like that without her input. And so I will say, and I'm definitely not saying table this. I think this is a very important issue. If we could get a draft letter, because I don't have time to write a letter, especially as it's coming from the COVID committee. If we get something, please send it to Margie so that we could push it through as fast as possible, just so we know what we're looking at. I think that would be a moderate suggestion rather than waiting. I think we meet next week, if I'm not mistaken, as an e-board. So it's not like it's, being pushed out. So if Pat, if that committee could come together and put together a draft, send it out to Margie and Jeanette. You can definitely CC myself and Vernil on it. We'll discuss it and bring it up at the e-board meeting. And I did add it to items for Madam Chair to look at.
Okay, I see Tom's hands up. I'm sorry, there was someone else speaking.
I was just going to add that, Tiffany, that would be great. Our committee would be fine with writing up a letter very quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just to be clear, we meet on the 4th, which is week after next. But also, I wanted to verify, so it would be sent to the e-board and then sent out, not wait for our next meeting, because we're taking action here to say send it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to make sure I get it right. Thanks.
Lynette, the next.
Thank you. Tom basically said, in the absence of the central committee, the executive board acts on behalf of us. And even if the letter gets to us before our official meeting, we can, I think we have 5 days, so we could even meet sooner if we needed to send this out. So we just need the letter.
Dr. Bonnie?
Yeah, I just want to speak in behalf of the motion. The County Medical Society, I spoke in favor of a mask mandate on their behalf at the Board of Supervisors meeting. They obviously have very political, personal freedom reasons, which are egregious. And so I just speak in favor of the motion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I see no more hands.
All right, so there's been a motion. I think it was already seconded. And so can we go ahead and launch a poll so that we can all vote?
Yep.
And thank you again, COVID committee, for your hard work on this and keeping all of us abreast of what's going on. And thank you, Monica. And I think I saw Aaron in here for being diligent up there. It's hard work.
There you go.
And we have Nancy, Vernil, and Paula's votes captured in the chat.
have 19 people voting, but there's 25 voting members.
There's 3 in the chat.
Okay, so that's almost there. Actually, I take it back. There's 24. This account doesn't vote.
About 10 more seconds. We got to move this meeting.
Okay. I'll go ahead and end it. It's a letter.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. On the committee, finance committee. I don't see Morgan here. Is there anybody else that was on that committee that'd like to give a short report? All right, seeing or hearing nobody. All right, we do have some new business that we need to go ahead and take care of on this evening. And Dr. Hamilton, we did replace your action item and moved it to next month so that you have a little bit of time to prepare for it. But thank you for being on that caucus. So we need to go ahead and approve the December 8th, which is, if we were in normal times, it'd be our December meeting. So we, as the executive board, met and chose December 8th, 2021 as our December meeting date. And we do need to have that approved on tonight. So would like to entertain a motion to approve our December, which is our annual holiday meeting, but
right. The motion is before you on behalf of the executive board. You don't need to move it again, but we do need poll and discussion. And it does not conflict with Hanukkah. I just checked.
Tom?
You're on mute.
You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. But this, just to clarify, this is our November and December combined meeting per the bylaws.
Correct.
So people,
that's correct.
That's why I put in the poll.
Yes, thank you. Our November and December combined holiday meeting. So we do need to take action on that tonight. So if you can go ahead and launch the poll. Oh, we're sorry, John. It's virtual. You can vote.
Madam Chair, Lynette Henley has raised her hand.
Yes, go ahead, Lynette. Sorry about that. I was checking it.
No, I'll just wait till the poll is finished.
Okay. One more minute. Well, not a minute, 10 seconds. Okay. Go ahead and end that thing.
4, 3, 2. So it's a meeting date.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. All right.
What
Next
I'm going to
item
ask
on.
you. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Item.
Apologies.
What's the next item?
It was under Jeanette's report for the awards event.
Okay, so now I remember what I had to ask you. The COVID committee had a concern that they had 2 reports. Were you able to have we covered what you needed to bring forward to the central committee about being on the agenda?
I think that's actually the last item under old business, letters from members.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because we said that they would have an opportunity to have to speak. So if we can, that's no problem. And several people have their mics open. That was what my question was. Thank you.
Karen Rogers, your mic.
Karen, your mic is open.
Thank you. All right. Can we? Sorry, me, awards, sorry. So Jeanette, we need to go ahead and, can y'all hear me? Sorry, my screen is jumping. Right. So we did go ahead and decide to cancel the awards banquet, and we will schedule that for next year for in person. Jeanette did want to say that the awards have been ordered, and that she has checked in with Morgan as far as the treasurer to issue the checks, and so she'll have more information on that, next month at our regularly scheduled meeting. I don't want to give her full report, but I just want to kind of give a brief blurb of what she told me. And I don't believe that that is an action item because we already agreed to do the awards banquet. It's just that we are rescheduling it due to COVID, and we'll do a big old celebration somewhere in person in 2022. Next, we have recall strategies, Benicia members and Northern Credit Club. Anybody reporting out from one of those two organizations? You're on the agenda under new business. If not, we can table you until the October meeting. I don't see anybody. Do
I
you
don't
guys
see any hands.
Okay. All right. Let's table that
Don
until.
has his hand up.
Okay. Go ahead, Don. Thank you.
Just very briefly, my understanding is that the thought is that we would prepare, ask the Central Committee to prepare a sort of a how to combat a recall handbook for future candidates at risk, given the activities in Benicia and Vacaville, knowing what things to look for to toss recall petitions or to rally the support against it and so forth. That's about all I know. That was the discussion that I heard. So hopefully they'll come back with more details at a future meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Don. Pat?
Gary's hands up. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what Don said. I think we discussed having a separate group get together to discuss the recall efforts, because I was involved with both recalls in Benicia and worked on both of the teams. So, it was decided we would get together separately, but it just never happened. I don't know, but so I'm not sure all the members of it. Maybe Carrie has some insight.
Through the chair.
Go ahead, Carrie.
Thank you, Tiffany. Can we form a subcommittee to work on a recall? How to head off and fend off and defeat local recalls. A temporary ad hoc committee to get together to do that. The Northern Dems, Jeannie White, was gracious enough to invite me to their conversation on this. There was some rich discussion around this, and it's not going to go away. And we're going to see more and more of this as we move forward. So members of the Northern Dems and the Progressive Dems of Benicia, those of us that have lived through it and defended and defeated local recalls, I think we can, get together, write some tips down, and it doesn't have to be lengthy. It doesn't have to be a book. It could be a fact sheet, and we can share it throughout our county. So I think that's what the thinking was.
So Carrie, you're asking that an ad hoc committee be formed by the Central Committee for the purpose of working on recall strategies.
Yes, defending recall strategies. Absolutely.
Recall strategies. So that's your motion, right? And we just need a second, and then we
Second, Don Lowry.
Dalton has seconded that. So Tom, we do a poll, and then we're at discussion right now.
Yes, I was going to say, anybody have a discussion? Raise your hand. I love the idea.
I'm vamping so Tom can write it up.
Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I also, because, there was a bunch of stuff that we did really early on that helped to, and ended almost, to help stop it before it was even starting. So there's just a lot of stuff that can be done. But the other thing is, I was going to bring this up in comments, is that I think as a committee, we also should urge our statewide officers to change the recall, to make it less, to change it and make it, apparently, I guess you need a vote by the public, but I'm hoping that we can do something like that in the near future, so we don't all have to keep going through this over and over again.
Okay, thank you. Tom and then Lynette, whose name I saw.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify one thing. So this is an ad hoc committee that's open to any members of the central committee. And I'm going to add to the poll whether or not people want to be part of it. Is that okay? And then you can choose yay or nay, and then sign me up or have fun without me.
Go ahead, Lynette. Thank you, Tom. Go ahead, Lynette.
Yeah, and I think once, if this motion does pass, that may be a resolution that comes out of that committee, that we try to encourage the state party to change the rules with regard to recall, both at the local and the state level. So I think this is going to be a very productive committee.
And then do we have a recommendation? This is just for later. Who would chair that committee, or y'all can decide what
they can decide out of the people that join.
Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and get ready to launch this poll so we can get voting. I like all this action. I like strategy. That gives me goosebumps.
All right, now calm down.
All right, everybody, go ahead and start voting the launch. To vote, please indicate your desires in the chat. Yay, nay, abstain, or yes, no, or have fun. Tom, really have fun without me? Okay. Yes, no, if you want to be on the committee.
I set the timer for 40 minutes for the voting. Madam.
I'm sorry to hear you broke up. All right, we got 20 seconds left.
Two, 1, 0. So it looks like 7 people want to be part of it, and it passes.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, you guys. And please get ready or send out your dates to Jeanette so that she can start to, well, you guys have the people that are interested, but we'll get that to you so you can start forming your committee. Look forward to hearing from you. All right, it is 8:24. Let's get to old business. So I think we've done enough on the recall and update and debrief, but I do want to say something around the recall. I said this earlier, 2022 is already here. We need to be gearing up, strategizing on how we can move forward here in Solano County. I was looking at some of the voting numbers that were available from the county registrars. We should be very scared, as red as we are here. So we got to figure out a way to engage more Democrats. And, we all work very hard. Numbers speak for themselves. I was shocked how many people, shocked not really, but how many, a number of people that voted yes on the recall, which says that we, as this committee, we need to, get this ad hoc committee and come up with a strategy, because they're going to continue to come after us in using these tactics. We see it every day. We watch the news. And then furthermore, we talking about the health and well-being of residents of Solano County. We got 2 seats up on that board of supervisors. We need to be looking for candidates to replace those 2, and we need to be looking feverishly. So please, if you know of anybody, get them in the pipeline. Let's train them up. Let's get them some support. But that's our priority here in Solano County, and that's all I have to say regarding the recall updates. Lynette, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we had 62% of Solano County vote no on the recall, which is good. Because usually, I mean, not usually, but in the last couple of elections, even though we are majority Democrats, our county votes like we're Republicans. And that's kind of scary. And I echo what Tiffany is saying, that we have to keep Democrats, so we can count on those votes. When Solano County has over 100,000 registered Democrats, but we have more Republicans in office than Democrats, that's not a good thing. So we have to get our Dems that are in these non-democratic positions, I don't know what we want to call it, but to be Dems so that we can get them in. And so, as we said, we only have 2 on the as supervisors, and we need to get those other 3 seats at least so that we can have a majority for Aaron and Monica when they're trying to get things passed up there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Aaron has her hand raised.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, thank you. This is a very good discussion. And I appreciate that this is happening, particularly now. It's kind of one of those things that should have started yesterday. But I know we're talking to some folks out there who are prospective candidates. But really, this starts with our redistricting process that's happening in the county. We can't lose sight of what is going to go on in terms of moving district lines in districts 2, in district 3, and district 4, more importantly, and how that is going to affect district 3 and district 4 supervisorial seats. I'm a big proponent if we can increase the number of supervisors who are more suburban, represent more suburban areas, urban areas, like Vallejo, Fairfield, or Suisun, I'll say. I think Vacaville, we kind of lose folks, unfortunately. But the more attention we'll have to issues that occur in urban and suburban environments, like homelessness, like childhood obesity, like, all these other issues that are near and dear to our hearts. And so let's get started. I know some of you, Tiffany and Alex, you are on the committee. I don't know of anybody else that is on the redistricting committee, but that's where it starts. And in the meantime, we need to be talking to candidates. So I support this discussion 100%. Thank you.
Don, I see your hand up.
I think Jana was first, but go
Okay.
ahead. Well, let her go.
I don't even see her hand. Jana, was your hand? Oh, she took it down. It's Don.
Okay. Yeah, I will just say that I agree. We need good Democrats running. But in part and parcel of that is, one, we need Democrats who will actually support the platform when they're running. And then 2, we need our friends, our organized friends, to stop supporting Republicans and actually support Democrats and figure out which party actually supports labor rights and union rights, and stop splitting the bill because a minority of their members like to support God's guns and what have you. So I think that's part of the issue, is we need to get behind our Democrats once we recruit them.
Okay, I don't see any other hands up. Or did I miss someone?
I don't see any.
No, I don't see any. Okay, perfect. All right. Old business, last item, letters from members. I believe this was a continuation of the COVID committee.
Michelle had asked this item to be on the agenda, and she was initially denied, even though she was within the bylaws, made the request timely, was not given a reason why. So what she really wanted to talk about was the process of whether or not we are an organization that follows our bylaws. But given that this is the end of the meeting and she's not here, she's very possibly at the emergency room right now. She had asked that this be continued to the October meeting as an agenda item that we talk about process.
This is Lynette. Thank you. Michelle had asked to have a second piece of her report from COVID. I mean, she indicated it was COVID, and we said that that was going to be on the agenda. And for some reason, she thought that it wasn't going to be on the agenda. So I really didn't understand we weren't following the bylaws, we weren't giving them space on the agenda. And both at the executive board and after the executive board, the question of whether or not she was on the agenda was addressed multiple times by multiple people to ensure that yes, you are on the agenda, you will have time, you'll have your 2 minutes to present whatever you need to present. And Margie, as our chair said, yeah, you have timely requested this time. So I think the whole executive board was kind of confused about what was going on, if it was something different that we hadn't addressed. So I'm not sure why, this discussion needs to be carried on, but I think if anybody meets the deadlines, they have a space on the agenda to do what they needed, because Margie had, prior to, she had asked to be on there, and all I said was, did she meet the deadline? And Margie said, yes. I said, then she gets space on the agenda. She gets her 2 minutes to bring forward whatever she wants to bring forward. So it's unfortunate that it was a miscommunication that she was not felt like she was on the agenda, because I addressed it, Margie addressed it. I think
no one ever got back to her and told her she was on the agenda, though.
I have the emails where
you know what? And it's kind of pointless for us to argue about it without her being here.
Well,
I would just ask that it get on that process issues get added to the October agenda. That's all.
Hold on. And so I don't like the talking over one, because we're on Zoom and it just creates like this bad echo. So I do want to respond. She was on the agenda. There was a response given to her. She reports under the COVID committee. And so this would have been a perfect opportunity. Now, if we want this item that you're asking, Paula, to be, do you want it to be brought up to the e-board or to the next central committee meeting? Because that's where I'm confused. I'll make a note from Margie and forward that to her.
Well, we can certainly talk about it at the e-board, but we need a discussion about process at the October meeting.
Okay, I will make a note of that for Margie and for the e-board, and then we'll talk about it at the e-board meeting and then get it on the agenda.
Thank you.
Monica's hand is up. Monica?
Going to second if we needed to make a motion to add the word process, and it should be put under business, and it should be granted greater than 2 minutes so that we have the discussion, so that everybody feels that their needs, wants, and desires are at least being heard. Thank you.
The 2 minutes was for her to give her whatever she wanted to talk about. That's what we do for all reports. That's in our bylaws.
Well,
yes, and that doesn't.
But hold on, Monica. And so what we do is you get your initial 2 minutes, and then it's up to the central committee to vote if we extend time. And we've done that for the last 12 years. You get your 2 minutes, and then after that, we voted to extend by 5, 10, however much time we thought we needed to finish the discussion. But the initial time frame is a report or request for action are 2 minutes.
And there are a lot of new people here who probably have not been here that long, or some of us over 20 years.
Right.
All I'm saying is that the discussion process, and if it needed to be a second, and again, she's not here, as long as it gets agendized, I'm fine for October.
All right. Any more discussion, questions, comments on this item? All right. I have made the note.
Okay. One sec, I can't raise my hand, so I'm just going to jump in, Tiffany. Don Lowry asked to make an announcement on the adjournment. Which is next.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Where is he?
Where is he? Don?
Don,
Yeah. I would like to ask that the Central Committee adjourn in memory of Scott Lay. Scott was one of the leading journalists covering state politics the last decade or more. But before that, and I think only a few of us have been around a long time enough to remember, he was the chair of the Yolo County Democratic Central Committee in the mid-90s. But he passed away recently, very unexpectedly, and I'd like to ask that the Central Committee adjourn in his memory.
I'll second that. That's your motion to adjourn?
Yes.
I'll second that.
Okay. Do we have to have a poll?
Actually, for some reason, I can't launch polls. It's not showing me the thing.
Oh, darn.
No, I'm serious. I've been like trying to click it and it ain't coming up. And I don't know where it's at.
Oh, no, it's okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, our meeting is officially adjourned at 8:36. Thank you, folks.
Good night.
Have a good.
Okay, bye everyone.
I took notes. I'll write up minutes.
All right, thanks, Paula. Thanks, Tom.